What's up, guys? It's been a while since I made a video, huh? But I feel like I need to talk about this because not that everyone is streaming it, everyone's talking about it, obviously. The new Zelda, Breath of the Wild. That game, I actually just got through finishing it. Uh, I fought Ganon just now, and before that though, I did everything. I've been playing this game for a month, a little bit more than a month, and almost every day for like that long. And the game is massive. Um, and I did all the shrines. There's 120 shrines. I got all the shrines, and yes, I even did getting all 900 Koroks, which is like, what? Pff, you're fucking insane. Yeah, I know, I'm pretty insane. That's why I did it. Well, I'm something of a completionist too, so it's just in my blood. Is if I love a game a ton, like really love a game, then I probably will do everything I can in it. Usually that's what ends up happening. But yeah, the rewards for that is it's not worth it. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna spoil, even though the game's been out for more than a month now, about a month, a little bit over a month. I'm still not gonna talk about specific things to spoil the experience. I don't really want to make this a long video, to be honest. I know I say that and I go off on tangents, but I'm going to try to make this video not too long. Max 20 minutes. But I just wanted to talk about this game because this game has been a huge part of my life for a month. I've been playing this for a month, a little bit longer than a month now. Every day, I've been living in this fucking world, and it's crazy. So anyways, we'll start off. This is my favorite Zelda now. And it's like, I never saw this coming, to be honest. I mean, this is literally my favorite Zelda game. I've played all the games in the series. I love the series. It's a great, great franchise. Um, that's full of quality, and it maintains a level of quality and fun that the series has gone on for so many years. It's been 30 years since the series has been going on for, and it's just amazing games. Not everyone is amazing. There's a few that there's ones I like more than others, but for the most part, this series is a great series. I'm not gonna get into that, but this is my favorite Zelda. And my favorite Zelda has always been A Link to the Past. That is my number one. A Link Between Worlds gave it a run for its money a little bit. There's other games like 3D Zelda-wise. I mean, I love Ocarina of Time. I know it's a little bit overrated, but you have to remember what it did for the time, and it was amazing. Like, I love Majora's Mask. I love a lot of the Zelda games. The only ones that I really don't like too much is like Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks, and not because they're not good games. They're alright, but it's just you control Link with a stylus, and I'm not really into that all that much. Like I beat those games once. I was one and done, and I was like, yeah, I don't see myself replaying these because of the stylus controlling. I'm not that huge a fan into it. But A Link to the Past was my favorite. But Breath of the Wild is now my favorite Zelda game. And it's not because of the story. It's not because of, you know, uh, because of the open world. You say the open world. It's would I like a Zelda game like more structured, like the series has been through the years, or open world now that's taken this approach? I mean, it doesn't matter to me. But it's what they did in this open world. Like this game, like some people were saying, and I agree. This game is beyond Nintendo. Like when I played this for the first 20 hours, I couldn't believe that Nintendo put this out. Like I was in shock. I was like, Nintendo put this out. What? Like this is beyond them. This is so much quality. This game is so fun. There's so many ways that you can approach a situation. There's so the attention to detail. There's so many ways that you can do things. It blows my mind. Like, and there's so many things that you would, even if you've been playing the game for 20, 40, 60 hours, there's things you're not even know you could do in this game. There's so much cool shit that's packed in this game. Like, you can like take out wood, and then you could like put a spicy pepper and throw down a red choo-choo jelly, and like hit it with an arrow, and because of the spicy pepper it bursts until you can create updrafts, and updrafts you can jump into it in slow motion bow aiming. There's so many ways different ways you can do things, that the game is a blast to play. It's never old, you know. It's fantastic, and that's one of the reasons why I love it so much, is it's so fun. It's the most fun I've had in a video game in quite some time. It really is, and especially for the Zelda series, like specifically the Zelda series, it's the most fun I've ever had in a Zelda game. It's crazy, and the fact that like they took Zelda 1, which is a great game. I love that game. They took Zelda 1, that open world format, what they revolutionized for the NES at that time, and then they took that concept and there's no limits. Like, they actually made a true open world that's the successor to the original Zelda. You know, you see that original artwork where it just shows Link, and like he's like looking over the mountain, and you see that amazing view of the world. Basically, you can do that in Breath of the Wild. Like, that is it right there. That is it. That is the pure form of Breath of the Wild, and it's amazing. The climbing, everything is just amazing. Like, there's so many nuances, like the raining and thunderstorms, and like you can't have metal like weapons or shields on, or you'll get zapped by light. Like, there's just so much nuances. You'll get zapped by lightning. Just so many things. Raining, you can't climb well, which we'll get into how that's a problem. But it's an inconvenience, but it was cool. Like, just the nuance of detail that the game throws at you. I can go on talking about how amazing every little nuance is. Like, just the wonder, the magic and mystery of this world, that it's so massive, and you just like, explore it at your own leisure at any point and just look at anything. You might walk over here and climb a mountain, and you might see a dragon. Like, the first time that I saw one of the dragons, when I was climbing a mountain and I was going near the bridge near Lake Hylia, and I just saw this mystical like lightning dragon just flying in the skies, and that music just sets in, and it's just like, it blew my mind, just the wonder and magic of this game, the mystery, like how you just like the little details, even when it's nighttime and the moon comes out, the moon has its own source of light. It looks beautiful at night. The moon hits the land and it just glows, and like mist will like go across the ground, and like all the like details is amazing. It is truly amazing, and that is such a fun world, and such a magical world to explore. It's the best, man. I love it so much. Like, I had so much fun with this game. I had so much fun with it, and every time I would get like, say like 20, 40, even 6, even 80 hours in, I was constantly being surprised at something new, and constantly being introduced to something that was so cool, or something I might not have known that was a cool trick or something. And just like, you know, like you can shield surf like down mountains, and like Or say for instance, like, or it, like down like snow mountains or even land. But say if it's raining, that's to your advantage. If it rains, that changes the course of the land. When it rains, you can shield surf down like a grassy hill faster because of the rain. Everything has a meaning. Everything works, and it's just awesome. And I talk about how beautiful the world is and how amazing the game is, and it's my favorite game. If it was up to me, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. And at first, when I, like, the first 20 hours, I was like, oh yeah, 10 out of 10, this game just blows my fucking pants off, it's amazing. But then as those hours started to stack up, I was getting further in the game, I started deducting points. It became a 9.8, then it was like a 9.7, then I was like, maybe a 9.6. I mean, scores are, debatable. Sometimes they can be dumb. Just play the game for yourself and judge it on your own merit. Form your own opinion on it. But for me, if I was gonna give it a score, I probably would give it a 9.5. And the reason why it doesn't get a perfect 10, and I loved it so much, is because this game has issues. It has a ton of issues that really pull me out of the experience. I want to talk about that because people will that's how it is every time when reviews come out. Every time a Zelda game comes out, reviews give it a 10 out of 10, and it's funny. It's like these people that review the game, their credibility is like really low when you do stuff like that because we can't take your opinion seriously. It's okay to fanboy over a game, but you need to call out stuff that's there. When there's problems, you need to call it out. It's like fans with companies. Like, there's fans out there that are fanboys, the worst kind of fanboys that will fucking lick these companies' balls and do anything they want. They'll bend over backwards and be like, yeah, they do nothing wrong. And then when shit happens that these companies are doing bullshit, they damage control and they don't. It's just pathetic. I can't stand fanboys. But the fans like me that love the games that they put out when they're good and everything and the quality, and they're like, yeah, it's a good job, but they call the companies out for when they do bullshit, and a lot of companies do bullshit all the time, and Nintendo's not a stranger to that. They do a lot of bullshit, and Nintendo pisses me off with a lot of things. So I just call it as it is. I'm factual, and that's how everyone should be. Facts. They shouldn't be false, live behind false bullshit and lie to themselves, because that's no way to live. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, my point, is that this game is not perfect. And the frame rate is the most glaring issue for me. The frame rates in this game. I got the Wii U version. I heard that the Switch version, because I don't have a Switch. I'm not interested in getting a Switch. Especially launch consoles at launch, I'm not interested in getting. Because they have tons of problems. Look at the Switch. The Switch was rushed to market. It's got tons of fucking issues. I'm not really interested right now anyways. But even the Switch has issues with the frame rates. Now, they did release some patches recently that was supposedly to fix the frame rates, and they were fixed for the Switch version. They did patches for the Wii U version, but I noticed no such fixes. There were no fixes for me. I went to all the locations, I went to all the villages, and the frame rate still sucks ass. That's the thing. The frame rate in this game pulls me out of it. It sucks when it happens, because this game is brilliant. It's one of the most brilliant games I've ever played. But it's a sour note on the experience. It's a sour just stain on a brilliant game. In the Wii U version, I'm going to speak for me because that's what I played on the Wii U. Wii U, it'll do frame rate. It'll go to 20 frames when there's things happening. Sometimes you're fighting enemies, and it'll just the frames will be destroyed. It'll go to 20. It might even go to 15. It's awful. Uh, and then like when you hit a moblin, you do like a finishing hit. The game will actually freeze, and then it'll pick up where it left off. It'll like twitch, and it's just very strange. It's really bizarre. Um, the places where I can see like being in an open area where like there's forests, but like in some of the forests, like especially around the tropical forest near Lurlin Village, the frame rates just suck. It just is so shitty. I don't even like to go to those places really. I still do it. I man through it, but it's just like I don't want to be here. And like when you even villages, like a place where there's hubs of characters where you talk to characters, you're supposed to like take in this village, and there's fucking frame rate issues in every village. Fucking Kakariko Village, Hateno Village, Zora's Domain. There's all frame rate issues. It drives me crazy. It's like, come the fuck on. It's like Nintendo has always been about polish in their games. Every game that they put out is usually polished. There's you never say there's frame rate issues in a Nintendo game. That doesn't happen. I mean, when they did the HD Wind Waker, there was some slight frame rate issues, but they were minuscule. There was none. There was like, oh, you're like going in the sea and you're fighting this one cannon, and then it dropped for like 1 second. That's not an issue. That really isn't a big issue. In this, it's constantly drops, and it's annoying. Especially like one of the funny things is I forget how far in, but I wasn't that far into the game. I left the plateau, and I had some exploring around for a bit. But then there was a point where I said fuck it. I went to Hyrule Castle. That's where Ganon is, Calamity Ganon. I was like, I wanna go over here because I kind of like wandered by accident because I was exploring the world. I went into Hyrule Castle. It was exciting. When the music comes on and you're in Hyrule Castle, it was awesome. If you feel like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here right now, and this is fucking cool as shit. But the frame rate throughout and Hyrule Castle area is big, and the frame rate the entire time is garbage when you're outside. When you're inside, like underground and inside the inner areas of Hyrule Castle, it isn't bad. It usually is fine, but when you're outside, and believe me, it's big outside Hyrule Castle, the frame rate is just fucking, it's garbage. It sucks. It sucks so much. A giant stain on otherwise magnum opus game. It sucks. The story in the game I don't care about. It just doesn't. It's like the story is through memories, and like you find memories and there's cutscenes, and I just didn't care, to be honest. There's a few cool moments, but it's not like the voice acting. That's right. This Zelda has fucking voice acting. This is the first time that voice acting has been the Zelda game. And I always said that if they put voice acting in, it would ruin Zelda forever. And do I feel that way about this? I think I would prefer that there weren't any voices, because the voices, I mean, I can see if they got good, it was good voice acting, like really good. Like right now I'm also playing Dragon Quest VIII for the first time. And I remember, like, I've been playing Zelda for a while. I've been playing this forever. And then a few weeks, like 3 weeks later, I started Dragon Quest VIII. And I'm like, oh my god. It's like night and day. The voice acting in Dragon Quest VIII is fucking phenomenal. It's superb voice acting. It's really well done. It's well delivered. In the certain situations, it sounds good. And then I go back to listening to Breath of the Wild, and I'm just like, oh. This is not good. It's not good. I mean, Zelda's voice, it's debatable if you like it or not. I mean, I personally think it's okay. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. Then again, I do have a thing for British voice acting, like female British voice acting. I do have a little thing for that, so that might be why I don't hate it. But the delivery is not that great, and some of the characters, the voice acting is just, it's just really, it didn't need voice acting. You spent all that time doing voice acting. Also, like, I remember when I first heard voice acting is when you're about to leave the plateau and you hear, I'm just gonna say, the old man's voice. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just gonna say the old man in the beginning of the game, he talks when you're about to get off the plateau, and for his age, the character, the old man, the voice does not match. It's fucking terrible. It's not even the fact of it's a young guy trying to do an old man's voice. It's not even that. And that would be bad as it is. It's a fucking it's just a young dude doing a voice. Not even doing an old man's voice. He's just doing a voice. It does not fit the character. It makes no sense. I remember hearing it, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? This is terrible. The voices are not good in this game for the most part. So the voice acting I don't care for. The story I don't care for. It's whatever. I don't really, it doesn't blow me away. It doesn't. The things that are amazing about this game are the fucking exploration, the open world of just the mystery, the wonder, the attention to detail. There's so many things that you can like do and approach certain ways. You can be creative doing things, not even just in fighting. You can be creative in cooking meals. I love the meals that you can cook. I love the cooking aspect. That's fucking awesome. There's so many ways to be creative in, like, you can create updrafts if you're creative enough. You can do different things. Hell, you can take octo balloons and attach them to a fucking raft and make it fly in the sky, and you can like use the korok leaf to have a flying fucking sail ship. It doesn't work well, but it's still something you can do. How many times I've tried to do that, and like I would go a little bit in the sky and then it would fall over and be like flipped over, and it was useless. I couldn't use the raft anymore. So it doesn't work well, but there's things you can do. The momentum, the like the runes you can use. You can like use stasis, build up momentum and force, and like do different things that way. There's so many ways that you can do things. It's so fucking good. But what else did I have a problem with in this game? I want to say, yeah, we're already at 22 minutes. I see that, almost 23 minutes. I'm gonna end soon. I'm just gonna talk about the last problem I had, which just I finished the game, and here's my problem, and then I'll end the video. The ending is trash. I'm sorry. It's not. To me, the ending is for this fathom of a game, this giant world, and so much you could do, so much time you spend in it. The ending is not good. No, I'm not gonna say certain things, but like when you first see Ganon, he's intimidating, and it's good. I think the first part is good. Debatable, like, depending on when you go to fight Ganon, I can see it being way more challenging. But I only got hit like 3 times, and I took him out. That was pretty cool. I did like that. But then there's a second form. There could be more forms. I'm not gonna spoil. I'm just gonna say the next form. Aesthetically, the look of Ganon is cool. You know, it's cool and everything. But I didn't get hit once. Like, he doesn't even attack you. And, like, let's just say he shoots a beam and, like, it doesn't really hit you. You don't get attacked. I mean, and you just do what you got to do. And then if you finish it and you do the final, whatever, and there might be another form to go into. I'm not gonna say. I don't want to be too spoilery with this, but I'm just gonna say that the ending is abrupt, and it's one of the worst Zelda endings I've ever seen. It's one of the worst Zelda endings like ever. It's just not good. I mean, not this is feeling like Dark Souls now, where the ending is not what you play for. You play for the journey, and I feel like this game is close to that. It's basically the journey of exploring this world and getting lost in it for fucking like hundreds of hours. I've spent over 200 hours playing this game. I got everything. I got everything you can get in the game. All the 900 Koroks. We're not going to talk about the reward for that cuz that's let's just say it's but literally maybe. But fuck. I'm just going to say the ending is not good. Then the credits come up and you're just like, "Huh? This is the ending, huh? Oh, okay." And I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's not a good ending. I'm disappointed. It's not good. The most fun and the most awesomeness you're gonna have with this game is, like I said, the journey. Oh, one more before I go. One more thing I wanted to talk about, which I didn't talk about, was the Divine Beast, the dungeons. Now, I love the fact I thought they were awesome at first. I still think they're pretty cool. The fact that you have to get the map and you can control the beast and that opens up puzzles is a new concept and it's really cool. But it's fine and the bosses are fine, whatever. But like as I thought about it later and I finished all of the dungeons, I'm just like, yeah, there's some improvements that could happen here. There's definitely things they could have done that they could have did something. I mean, having dungeons, because the dungeons all look the same, and it's true. It kind of gets a little stale. They all look the same. The puzzles are. It's not really like the dungeons in the past. They're more like the shrines, the little bite-size dungeons that you get in this game. You get like a little puzzle. It's basically that amped up. That's a divine beast. That's a dungeon. It's a little bit more of that, but a little bit amped up, basically. Yeah, that's the divine beast. And the puzzles are not crazy. There's some things that are cool about it, but there's no mini bosses. There's hardly any combat. There's just these pools of like that spit ghoul heads at you and you have to shoot the eye, but that's really all there is there. It's lacking in a lot of ways, unfortunately. Maybe they can fix that with the next iteration, whatever they decide to do for the franchise. I heard that they are going to keep it open world. They're going to continue doing this with the next Zelda. But there's so many improvements they can make. This is amazing, but there's so many things. Nintendo, please polish the fuck. I mean, I know you spent 5 years on this game and it shows, and there's things that are polished, but you didn't polish the frame rates. I mean, I still can't believe that they thought it was okay. There's so many times where I was playing this game and frame rate shits were happening the month I was playing this, and I thought to myself, Nintendo thought it was okay to release the game like this, and I just was like disappointed in them. I'm like, they're all about polish, and they didn't fix the frame rates. It blows my fucking mind, but what can you do? Like, it sucks. They could next time make dungeons like a specific flavor, make them look different. They're not the same looking thing. Have the mini bosses and everything, have awesome puzzles. Just make them like the old dungeons, amped up is all, and it would be cool as hell. The dungeons would be really cool. I didn't talk about the creatures briefly. We'll talk about that. The creatures in this game are cool. There's tons of variety. There could have been more variety, yes, but what's there is pretty cool. And there's so many different things like that you wouldn't know about. Like, there's these Octoroks that suck in and they shoot like a fire blast around certain areas. Like, mostly on Death Mountain. And here's a little trick that I didn't know until like 60 hours into the game or more. If you pick up a rust weapon or a rust shield, if you throw it at him and he sucks it up, and he actually sucks up all the rust off of the equipment and he spits it back at you, and then you have a shiny new clean weapon or shield. It's like the little things like that in this game, the little nuances that you'd never figure out. There's tons of that in this game. It's just fucking, it pours from this game. It's just amazing. But like I think I talked about all I wanted to talk about. I could talk about more, like the Lionels, like from the original Zelda, and they're hard as shit in this game. I got owned plenty of times in this game from them, but then I learned how to take them out, and they're fucking easy now. If I'm on top of my game, they're pretty easy. Sometimes I don't even get hit when I fight them and I kill them, because they're just so predictable, because I know their animations and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things in this game. It is definitely worth the money. It's one of the best experiences in gaming I've had in quite a while. I just wish Nintendo would fix the things I had problems with, which there's a couple of things. Maybe for the next Zelda iteration, they'll fix all that stuff, hopefully. But yeah, it's been an amazing game, and with some sour experiences, unfortunately, that kind of... I almost want to drop my, from a 9.5 to a 9.3 because of that ending. That ending was just, like, not good. It's just kind of, But it still is an amazing game. Also, yeah, I want to say that, people that love Dark Souls, that play that series, they're like, oh, man, I wish Zelda was like this. And it kind of is in this iteration. This is the closest we're going to get to, like, a Dark Souls, like, difficulty and exploring, like the wonder of seeing something new in like Dark Souls is in this game. And like the difficulty in Breath of the Wild is so amazing. I love it. It's one of the hardest, if not the hardest Zelda game in the entire series, which I love because let's be honest, the Zelda series is piss easy. It is. It's piss easy series, unless you're talking about maybe Zelda 1 or Zelda 2. That's why I love those games. I love Zelda 2. I'm in the minority, but I love Zelda 2 because it's so difficult, and it's up to my speed. So that's fantastic. And it's difficult. Like you start with 3 hearts, you have to make food to survive. I love that. And like you can get one-shotted easily. Even when you get hearts and you upgrade them, there's enemies that can just, depending on what weapon they have as well, they can one-shot you. They take like 6, 7 of your hearts with one swipe. It's fucking incredible. I love it. So yeah, it's amazing. Oh man, it's so good. This was an amazing game, but it's got problems. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I said I was only going to do like a 20-minute video, and I ended up doing 33 minutes. Oh well. That's how it goes. And I didn't even talk... I could talk about this way more. I could talk about it way more. You know what? I will. One more thing, I promise. I'm going to say... I swear to God, guys. I'm going to say one more thing really quick. One of the coolest moments... There's so many moments in this game. But I will pick one that I experienced. There is a island all the way to the east of the Hyrule map. It is like to the east of the Hateno, I think that's how you pronounce it. The ancient lab. There's an island in Hateno village to the east. If you go all the way to the border of the map, I remember I went there on the raft. I took my I was gonna say Deku leaf, my Korok leaf to the island, and I was like, what? Because like something's like started talking to me. It was like, this is a trial. I'm like, what? What's happening? And it was like, I'm going to take away all your armor, all of your weapons, and now you have to survive like it's a stranded island, like type of thing. And I thought that was the coolest fucking trial ever. It was so cool. They take everything away from you, and you have to like live on this island. You have to like make food. It's like being on a stranded island type of concept. I love that so much. That's all I wanted to share. I thought that was an amazing experience. So anyways, I'm going to end it here. I talked way too much about this. I just want to talk about Breath of the Wild, what I loved about it, what I didn't like about it, and I hope you all have been enjoying it if you've been playing it. And if you haven't got it yet, I would say get it eventually. It is definitely worth it. But I would say get the Switch version, but for me, I don't want to Switch right now because I don't. Nintendo has been shaky with me. I don't agree on everything that they do, and I have problems with things that they do. They're not a perfect company. I know the fanboys them out to be a perfect company, but they're not. They have, problems and shitty things that they do. So, and there's no games for the Switch, and there's like all faulty things about problems with the Switch, and I don't plan on getting one for at least 2 years. I'm not interested. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I hope you're having fun with it. Enjoy gaming and take care.